Welcome to our rolling news coverage. We will bring you the latest developments on the most pressing stories around the world. Straight ahead.
Event number 1. Israel conducted airstrikes to destroy generals and commanders of Iran and Lebanon. Event number 2. Iran lost 90% of its missile launchers in joint U.S. and Israeli airstrikes. Event number 3. Israel destroyed Iranian F-14 Tomcat fighter jets at an airbase.
And now, for the details.
Israeli forces have eliminated an Iranian general and 2 other commanders in new operations carried out in Iran and Lebanon, while also striking military bases belonging to the IRGC and Basij. The commander of the Iranian Air Force base in Tabriz, General Dariush Soleimani, was killed in an Israeli drone strike yesterday. According to reports, it was a targeted strike on Soleimani's private residence that also killed members of the general's family. The Institute for the Study of War and Iranian Media confirmed that Israeli airstrikes also killed Brigadier General Mohsen Darabaghi of the Iranian Air Force. Mohsen Darabaghi was an Air Force Brigadier General and a fighter pilot who had held several senior roles in combat readiness and logistics within the Iranian military. In a separate attack, Israeli forces eliminated Abu Dhar Mohammadi, a commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, in Lebanon. According to a statement from the Israeli military, Abu Dhar Mohammadi, considered a key figure in military coordination between Iran and Hezbollah, and the head of a missile unit, was killed by Israeli airstrikes. It should be noted that the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, had previously announced that they had also eliminated 5 officers from the Quds Force. In another operation, Israeli fighter jets attacked bases of the IRGC and Basij militia in the city of Ahvaz in Iran's Khuzestan province. According to reports, dozens of facilities belonging to the IRGC, Basij, police, and army were leveled. Footage capturing the devastation following the Israeli airstrikes has been widely shared. The video shows enormous plumes of smoke rising into the city's sky immediately after the attack. In widespread reports on the Israel-Iran war, the Israeli military has openly acknowledged carrying out large-scale airstrikes on Iran's military and paramilitary infrastructure, including IRGC and Basij command centers, missile facilities, and other strategic targets across multiple cities. A coalition of Israeli and U.S. forces has conducted a sustained campaign targeting Iran's military infrastructure and internal security forces since late February and early March 2026. The attacks have reportedly inflicted heavy losses on the Iranian military. Bloomberg, citing anonymous U.S. officials, reported that Iran has lost 90% of its missile launchers in the joint U.S.-Israeli airstrikes that began last month. The report argues that after a sharp escalation in the summer of 2025, the U.S. and Israel adjusted their strategy after learning clear lessons from that confrontation. Their current approach focuses on systematically dismantling missile launchers and command and control facilities. By eliminating these assets, they have limited Iran's ability to carry out large-scale, coordinated attacks. Unlike the missiles themselves, which can be hidden underground or quickly replaced, the launchers are much harder to conceal or rebuild. Therefore, they represent a critical vulnerability and have become a top priority target in the campaign. According to previous statements from the Pentagon, the number of Iranian launches has dropped sharply since the campaign began. Missile launches have decreased by about 90%, while drone launches are down by about 83%. Additionally, Israel's I-24 channel reported last week that Iran had lost approximately 60% of its missile launchers and air defense equipment during the fighting. According to estimates from Western defense agencies and think tanks, Iran's arsenal includes approximately 500 to 3,000 ballistic missiles, along with a large number of cruise missiles and armed drones. The United States and Israel began joint airstrikes, codenamed Epic Fury, on February 28th, involving aircraft, missiles, and drones operated by both the Israeli military and U.S. forces. U.S. President Donald Trump stated that the campaign was aimed at Iran's military and the elimination of Tehran's nuclear program. The operation has targeted a wide range of sites across Iran, including air bases, missile launch sites, fuel depots, and elements of Iran's military command structure. Over 100 children were killed when an elementary school was hit in Manab on the first day of the campaign. Iran has responded with unprecedented retaliatory missile and drone attacks against Israeli territory and U.S.-related targets across the Middle East. Iranian state media described some of these retaliatory barrages as the most intense since the start of the war, targeting Israeli cities and U.S. military positions in the region. The tit-for-tat exchanges have raised fears that the conflict could expand further across the Middle East, and threaten global energy routes like the Strait of Hormuz. Israel destroyed Iran's remaining F-14 Tomcat aircraft at an airbase in the central city of Isfahan. The fighter jets were heavily damaged on the base's tarmac, along with 3 large hangars and other military structures for aircraft. According to the Israel Defense Forces, detection and air defense systems that posed a threat to Israeli Air Force aircraft were also targeted in the attack. The 8th Tactical Airbase that was attacked in Isfahan is home to the 81st, 82nd, and 83rd Tactical Fighter Squadrons. As a result, it is likely that no Tomcats, or perhaps only a very small number hidden in underground facilities, survived this attack anywhere in the world. Defense intelligence firm Vantage shared images of the military equipment destroyed by Israeli airstrikes at the airbase. The footage shows the complete destruction of the F-14 Tomcat fighters. This attack followed an earlier operation that destroyed 16 aircraft used by the IRGC's Quds Force at Mehrabad Airport in Tehran, part of a broader effort to expand the Israeli Air Force's air superiority over Iran. In a statement, the IDF emphasized that it would continue to intensify its attacks on Iran and extend its air superiority across the country. According to military analysts, the destruction of the Tomcat fleet has significantly diminished Iran's ability to defend its central territories. The U.S.-made F-14 fighter jets were supplied to Iran before the 1979 Islamic Revolution and have long represented the most critical assets in its air force. Although maintaining them has been difficult due to limited access to spare parts, Iran managed to keep the fleet operational for many years. The attack on the Isfahan airbase was part of Epic Fury, the large-scale joint U.S.-Israeli air campaign against Iran that began on February 28th. The airstrikes have hit numerous strategic sites across Iran, including IRGC bases, command centers, missile launch sites, and weapons depots. Iran's air defense systems and radar networks were also targeted in the early stages of the campaign, allowing Israeli aircraft to conduct repeated sorties deep inside the country. According to Israeli military statements, fighter jets struck ballistic missile launchers, underground bunkers, and command facilities used to coordinate Iran's military operations. As of early March, hundreds of Iranian military targets had reportedly been hit in the campaign. Israeli officials assert that the strikes have eliminated key commanders and destroyed critical parts of Iran's missile and air defense networks, and that airstrikes will continue to maintain air superiority and paralyze Iran's military command structure.